Hello, this is going to be a review of Criterion's The Beales of Grey Gardens. It's my number 361. If you don't know the backstory, Grey Gardens was a 1976 documentary by Albert and David Maysles, the Maysles brothers. It's a cult classic. It's a very, very popular film in many circles. It kind of chronicles the I guess after the fall from grace by little and big Edie, Bouvier, Beale, who are cousins and aunt of Jackie Kennedy Onassis, the John F. Kennedy's wife. Grey Gardens is one of my favorite movies. The Criterion edition has some pretty fun special features and things of that sort. But The Beales of Grey Gardens is a 2006 release, 30 years after, or 2006 release, 30 years after the original documentary was released. It's a sort of companion piece to the film, the original film. There's it uses all original footage from the shooting of Grey Gardens, but doesn't use footage that was used in Grey Gardens. So, again, it's kind of a companion to the original film, more so than a standalone film. I think in the original Grey Gardens documentary, there's a kind of a vilification of Big Edie. She's sort of subtly blamed or made a culprit for some of little Edie's downfalls in life. The Beales of Grey Gardens takes a much more compassionate look at Big Edie. You kind of see more into her being, more about who she is as a person, why she is the way she is, things of that sort. For example, there's a neighbor of theirs, young guy. I think his name was Joey. I can't remember why I'm forgetting that. I don't think that's his right name though. Yeah, she kind of is really flirtatious with him, and this young kid, and you can kind of in those interactions see where she's coming from in a lot of these things. Little Edie, meanwhile, has some more depth added to her character as well. A lot of more sort of social or political, even maybe philosophical commentaries. For example, there's one bit where she's talking about her boyfriends who went to the war and then never came back, and the way she delivers that is very kind of soul-crushing and enlightening at the same time. So yeah, you just get to see a lot more of the two, and unlike the first film, which by no means paints the two as diametrically opposed or kind of bickering all the time, there is nevertheless an element of conflict, whereas in the Beales of Grey Gardens you see the sort of symbiotic relationship that the two have, that they kind of feed off of one another for both better and worse. I mean, they rely on one another to survive, but they also kind of rely on one another for individual happiness or something of that sort. Regarding the disc itself, it's very, very sparse. There's not a whole lot in there. There's the film. There's a video introduction by Albert Maysles, which is maybe 10 minutes long, and just talks about how he came back into contact with that kid that I was talking about earlier, who's now a cab driver in New York. And then subtitles, special feature, and then an essay by a Village Voice columnist, Michael Musto. That essay was actually really good. He talks a lot about how Grey Gardens was kind of a pre-reality show voyeuristic look into the lives of ordinary people, or not so ordinary in the case of Little and Big Edie. It draws a lot of parallels with our kind of animalistic tendencies to want to watch somebody kind of suffer like the Beales do, but also kind of with a compassionate lens that we one, appreciate seeing a story of the downtrodden because it's good entertainment, but two, we appreciate this kind of story because it's one of us. It's a former sort of socialite wealthy group with a lot of political power and money, now on playing on sort of our turf, the sort of proletariat turf, to put it in kind of Marxist terms or something of that sort. Not to say that this is um, a film on the material conditions of labor or something. It's just there's definitely a class dynamic though. Not a whole lot much more to say about the movie. Again, I would say it's a companion to Grey Gardens. I would say seek out Grey Gardens first. If you have seen Grey Gardens, watch the Beales of Grey Gardens. I bought this at the Barnes & Noble sale. It was $10 on the half-off sale. I would recommend, I don't know if I would recommend buying it. It is a DVD-only release, I think. And I don't know, even for $10, there's not a whole lot there. I'd like to rewatch it again and kind of give it more of a sort of critical look. Just look at it and watch it and analyze it and things of that sort. But not to say that I was underimpressed. It definitely is nice to dive back into the world of Grey Gardens and again to flesh out those characters and add depth and sort of understand who they are from a more rounded perspective rather than the sort of unilateral lens that you get through the original documentary Grey Gardens. But yeah, it's not very feature rich to warrant, I think, a purchase on its own unless you do love Grey Gardens and want to dive back into the world. I would recommend for first time viewers buy the box set of Grey Gardens and the Beales of Grey Gardens. I think it's a little cheaper than if you were to buy the two separately. And then if you do want to buy the Beales of Grey Gardens, I would say just wait for either a Criterion or a Barnes & Noble half-off sale, because then it's $10. I don't think it's worth $20 by any stretch, and I love Grey Gardens, so, you know, it's just not, there's not a whole lot there. If you've got Hulu, I think it's on Hulu, and you can watch it. That's probably the best, sort of most cost-effective means of watching it. But yeah, I mean, it's worth watching, but maybe not worth buying, unless you desperately want to own it, so... I guess that's that for this review. If you can't tell, my eyes are kind of pink and red. It's been raining a lot out here, and it's been kicking up a lot of allergens, and so I've had really bad allergies, and it's made watching movies very difficult. My vision gets very blurry after a certain amount of staring at a screen, so I'm probably going to have to slow down for a couple days on these reviews. I might not be able to watch anything. I was hoping to watch either Paris, Texas or Floating Weeds last night, but I couldn't sit through it because of my eyes. I was hoping to watch Fanny and Alexander this week, and again, don't know if that's going to be possible. We'll see, though. So definitely, you know, keep a lookout on my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Offer comments, feedback of any sort. I'd like to know more about what you guys think about these. And then just one last note on the production. I know that the videos are always inversed. So, for example, this is my left hand, yes, but it looks like it's on the right for you guys. When I post movies that are inversed, I know that the sound is a little off. I know that I kind of tend to mumble or talk through my teeth a bit. All of these things I'm aware of and I'm trying to work on. Also, there's a lot of ambient noise. I live in a very sort of, I live in a city, but I live in a sort of wooded neighborhood in a city. So traffic is over there, birds are over there. So I'm aware of production problems, and I'm going to try and remedy those in upcoming videos. But if you do have any advice or hints or other feedback that I may have missed regarding production, please offer that, because I'm really open to knowing what you guys want. If there are any movies that you might recommend, I've got plenty that I can watch and keep giving feedback for. But if you guys want something in particular, also feel free to leave a note and I'll add it to a list, because, you know, if I haven't seen it, then it's a great idea for me to watch it and give a review on it, because then I get to watch a movie I've never seen before. But yeah, so that's just kind of a rounding out to my videos in general. So be on the lookout for more videos, but maybe not over the next couple days because allergies. So thank you for watching.